All right. Thanks for tuning into this. Just going over the basics of the Geovision VMS, which is the video monitoring system. My name is Mike. I work for NorCal Voice and Data, and just kind of wanted to show you the basics and give you an overview. So right here, you'll see GV VMS. It's also already running, but just so you can see what it looks like. Just going to double click that guy, and this is what's happening right now, what's recording, what's going on. You may see some of these highlighting as red. Don't be alarmed. What that means is that it's detecting motion. So for instance, here you can see we've got some cars in the back. A lot of these would be triggered by something as simple as, see, there you go, some cars, some people. Some of these will be triggered by just this tree swaying in the wind. So you will see that, so it's nothing to be alarmed about. I will go over space constraints and anything like that, but you're in good shape as far as recording space. So that's nothing to have to worry about. But red, yeah, basically indicates it's picking up movement activity. To zoom in on any of these cameras, all you're going to do is double click it. And there you go, you just double click it again and it backs out. Also on any of these cameras, when you're double clicked in, you can use your scroll wheel and that will allow you to zoom in, and you can drag the mouse up and down to move vertical or horizontal. And then you can zoom back out with mouse wheel out. Just nice to have. So that's one thing to keep in mind. We do have a few cameras on campus. I don't believe it's too many. I think it's a few. Like this one, which is a 360 dome camera. So this has a little bit more functionality. It has a clearer zoom. So right here, you'll see you can zoom in and it'll go all the way back here, very close. You also can tilt and pan the camera a lot more than you could a normal camera. So this, you could basically swing around the entire courtyard. So that's something to keep in mind, and that's why we have it first and foremost right here in the front. So just going over the top from left to right, this is just saying what this is, the version information. Not really going to apply. We do any updates if they need to be done. This is showing the amount of space that's being used and taken up, and I'll get into that in a little bit. This is just the name of this system, basically just the name of the facility in question. So if you could have CCA student housing 1, 2, 3, or whatever. Date, time. You won't worry about sound, since none of these cameras work with speakers. You can ignore this. This does not apply. This is your home button. So if you are in a different section, like a view log, you click home, get you back here. If you're in a different section, say I'm looking at, let me get one that completely covers it up here. So that it's covering everything up. To cancel, you're already at home. That's fine. So view log we'll get to in a little bit as well. That's just going to be over what you're seeing on a particular camera and how you want to scrub footage or take recordings and save them, etc. Up here, this exit, the door will exit the program completely. There's really no need to do this unless something happens, in which case you would generally just give us a call and we can find out if some application server has stopped running. But to get to the desktop, you're going to click this and hit minimize here. That'll bring it back out. And like I said, it is running in the taskbar, so you could just bring it right back up. So we've got toolbar. This is where most everything is going to be done. This content list, we'll just go from right to left on here. Content list brings up all of the cameras on site. We have 45. So as you can see, this is not going to be 45 cameras. This is we have way more cameras that can be put onto this particular layout. So you'll notice that some here actually, no, they're not the same camera. They look it, but they're two different floors. But let's just say that I wanted to replace a certain camera with another one. All you would do is, instead of replacing this, let's just see if I can overwrite it. So I'm going to click C36 corridor, and it gives a little preview to the right of it. You should be able to see that. So if I click it and I drag it over, so it won't overwrite this, but if I wanted to do that on C4 corridor 213, click it, drag it over. Do I want to replace this channel? I'm going to say no for now, but if I did, you would see this here. So you can swap whatever you want to see. You can put it in any way, shape, or form. So for instance, you could have main area, lobby, outside cameras, first floor, second floor, third floor, different things like that, however you want to set it up. In that same kind of vein, you could go to layout, and here you can create brand new layouts. You can delete them, add them. So for instance, this is CCA all. You could have exterior, which as you can see, we have made an exterior layout. You've got a 3x3, which just covers some of the stairways. This can be modified to whatever you'd like. So, it's just nice to have that you can instantly change layouts. Another thing that you could do, like I said before, instead of having floor 1, outside floor 1, 2, 3, is you can create outside floor 1, floor 2, floor 3 in here. But remember, you would have to swap between these views, so you wouldn't see them all at the same time. So that's kind of why we have like a mix and match here of outside, indoor, lobby, bike room, elevators, stairwells, different things like that. But just know that that is an option and a good one. Okay, moving on. If you go to toolbar, you're really not going to mess with anything inside of this this section at all. Most of this is already set up originally. One thing that we would look at is record setting. Now here, this is just to kind of get an idea of what happens. This is going to be your database file. This is where they're going. And it's actually F, and I can show you that real quick. Minimize. So this is where the footage is stored. It says D, but it's the drive letter is F. And if you go in here, you can see the cameras are here. And you can see that they are running, and you've got the date, the time, and that is all today and relevant. So that's great. And you click in and you can see different clips that it's recorded, and you can see that there's a lot. Now you may say, well, why, how isn't this filled up? Well, it's nice because it looks like it's about tapped out for space. But what we have is a cyclical kind of thing where as it continues to record, after 1 month, it removes the oldest footage as it continues to record the newest footage. So it's always recording, and generally you're going to catch something if it's within a month. If it's something that is questionable and you may need it for the future, that's when you would go in and you would grab that clip. So just to let you know, this is nothing to be alarmed or alerted about. You've got plenty of free space, even though it looks like you are fully tapped out. But as you can see, all the cameras are in here, and they're up to date, working as intended. So going back into the system, and we're going to Toolbar, Configure, Record Setting. So you can see motion detection, the camera name. Now we do want to work with this and get a better naming convention here. But for now, you can kind of see corridors, lobbies. Some of them are unnamed, and I'd like to go over and get a better feel for what's where, and that's something that would be coming up on the horizon here shortly. So motion detection, not going to have to worry about storage. This would be in case you had multiple places where you were dropping the footage that's being recorded. Stream, we don't have substreams, so that's fine. There is this little section over here that has like a little, it's a toolbar with a wrench and a screwdriver. So if you click that, that will show this. And this is actually good, it's already up here. But this basically gives you an opportunity to filter out only what you want to be recorded in the frame. So for instance, if you're looking at this, now we probably have it recording up to about here, if you can see where my mouse is, because this tree is always flying in the wind and we don't want to get that and use a bunch of recording footage for that. So what you can do, and what you saw essentially, is you draw a yellow grid across and end it so it picks up everything within this area but ignores this right here. So that's what that's about. It's very handy, good on saving space if you needed it. Since you have a cyclical rolling feature, you don't, but it's just good to know. So that's under System Configure, Record Setting, and then the little toolbar. Not going to mess with this. Please don't. This is tolerance is how often and how sensitive it will be to picking up footage. Video record type, general event is perfectly fine. Minimum duration just means how long so if somebody was running, how long it would take to see them running for it to start recording. We don't want that because things could happen very quickly. You could have something happen within 2 seconds and be off of the camera. So we want to keep this as it is. But in here, you can just change this. I could change it over here. Could keep it just in this top hallway here. You could also do mask regions, which is the opposite. Say, I don't want to see anything coming from this section. Generally, we don't do that. We're going to go with default minimum object size, and we'll set it to where it was. Let me just change this maximum object. So this, you want to put this in the corner away. It's just one of those glitches where you just have to move this out of the way, so that way you can define your minimum object size. So just going to grab this from here. And okay. Oh, that's right. Sorry, these are mirrors. Okay. So there we go. So, I'm sorry. So maximum object size is the amount of the entire frame. Minimum is what you want to record. So just a quick reminder on that. So just going to hit OK. And you can do that with any camera here, all through these little toolbars. So that's good to know as well. Moving on, if you go to Tools, this is audio. You're not going to really mess with any of this. Sometimes you would have a camera that is a particular model where it might have a little push to talk button for something like you would deal with a receptionist. So you're outside and you want to get buzzed in. That's what this would be. Here, this is your services, your servers, anything that's running. This is the most dangerous part of the entire system. You're never going to want to touch anything under this. It looks like a little network with 3 computers. These need to be running at all times. If they're ever off, you won't be getting footage. It won't be recording. Just bad. So this is the one section to stay away from. If you do see something unchecked between these two, or anything else in the control center server, which you really shouldn't be looking at anyway, but if you do see anything missing there, please give us a call and we can go ahead and take a look and restart the services and applications through the task manager under control panel. Here is your monitoring. This is where you can completely stop all monitoring. Here, this is only to stop individual cameras. I don't see any reason why you would want to. I imagine in certain corporate environments, say if there's a very high security meeting going on, you would disable, say for instance, a meeting room that's going over highly sensitive information. You go in here, go to camera, let's say it's going to be the lobby, there's something going down really important. We don't want anything recorded for that day. You just unclick it and you're good. So as far as any of the settings, that's pretty much it for that. The one section, and you'll have to bear with me, it's been quite a while since I've done this, but if you go into Home and you're looking at a camera, let's just say we've got this one here. So I believe it is view log. Yeah, okay, it's view log. So if you go to view log, this is where you can see each individual camera on any given day, what it's doing, what it's recorded, and how to steal footage. So right now it's got today 5/4, and then you can choose the camera. So it looks like, let's see if we can. So this is C44. So let's go ahead and grab that. Okay, so C44. All right. And by the way, so just what was happening was it was zoomed in on a camera that at this current point has no movement. So it's blank. This you won't have to worry about right here. But regardless, when I hit restore, it goes back. So this is what you should see generally. And like I said, you can change these cameras as well to whatever you'd like. But just for demonstration purposes, we're going into C44. And you can see this time is matching. 4:29, 16:29. So about right. So it's going to go ahead and look through the footage that's been recording today. So this is one of the ones that has a lot of movement. You've got a lot of foot traffic. You've got people over here. You've got cars passing by. But let's just go to, actually here's good enough. So these are your playback, just like a audio player, video player, rewind, previous frame, play. Like I said, not going to really mess with audio. Doesn't matter. It doesn't apply. This is your going slower and faster, so you could do slow-mo if you needed to really zone in or zoom in and see somebody. Say if you needed to pick up a plate, you could scroll over and see somebody driving by and get their plate as long as you slow it down. And let's see, it goes down to 1/8 speed, so pretty good. So if I'm going to hit play, so let's see here. So we're going to want a normal speed, which is 1. And so let's just say that I wanted to record from this moment to maybe a couple minutes out. What I can do is I can set A to B mode. So I'm going to click this A here. And I'm going to set that right here. You should see it. You see where it's next to the black line is red. That's going to be your starting point. So I just click that. And now that's saved. You can still see my mouse moving around. And then I'm going to click B, and then you'll see another one here. And I'll just click right after it. Okay. And so you can see that actually, it gets quite a bit of footage in there too. This is going to be about 6 minutes of footage. So this is going to be, yeah, so you can't drag and drop this on the fly like we used to be able to do. Bear with me. Oh, this will show you what's happening real time. This was obviously previously recorded. Okay, there we go. So to clear these, you're going to hit A and B again. Okay, so now, let's do this again. So we've got A, then we've got, there we go, B and A. So this just kind of gives you a reference of time marks if you see something that's important. But that's just setting your certain increments. So this is more of a way to figure out if somebody said it happened at this time and ended at this time, that's what we want. You know, it was to pull something from a specific time, occurrence, or event. So that B is way too far out. It's going to be a huge clip. So I'm just going to put it at, there we go. So that's a smaller clip, 9:15, 9:17. So just going to highlight over it and right click and drag over, and it automatically grabs that section. Now, most of the time, I see people trying to go save as AVI. You can. Backup is good too. We usually like to do backup and then select the cameras because there may be multiple cameras involved. But this will show you here that that's from 9:15 to 9:17. The times that we chose on this date. It tells you the size, and then this is actually for these selected cameras, but this was only on C44, camera 44. So I'm going to uncheck all the cameras. I'm going to only check C44. So that's this one right here. So this is the actual size of it. Advanced settings, you're not going to worry about any of this. That's fine. So at this point, I've chosen this clip from this day and this camera only. And then just to save some space, you could just do video event only because that's all that matters. And then OK. And then you can decide where you want to put it. You can put it onto a CD or a DVD or a Blu-ray disc. You could use a hard disk, which is what we have and what we do. So right now it's defaulted to drop on the desktop. But for instance, you could create a folder on the desktop that says attempted break-in or, car crash or something of that sort, and create that folder on the desktop and then come in and create the clip and drop it into that folder. Or you could do it in the opposite method, which is just going in and creating a clip, saving it on the desktop, and then dropping it into a folder that you create. So we'll do it that way for now. So I'm going to say, OK, desktop. Going to go, OK. So it's saving. So it's backed up. This is important right here. You're going to want to make sure to look at this here. Now, it's the date, SIBK 2021-5-4. So that way, if you have multiple backups, multiple pieces of footage that you've saved, please bear in mind which one's which so you don't get them confused. So that's saved. So I'm just going to minimize this. And here it is. It's the latest one. You can also tell it's the latest one by going to Properties So that was created 1 minute ago. It is matching file size. And you've got 2 events in here. So you've got Windows Media, so you've got somebody walking here. And somebody passing by on a bike here. And it looks like this was a much bigger clip. Yep, cars, different things like that. So, but it's good to know how to get it, how to access it. And like I said, you could just make a folder. For instance, 5421 alarm set off or something, and just drop it in there. For now, I'm just going to delete it because we don't need it. Now, bear in mind that that is not deleting anything on the system itself. It's just deleting the footage that we had saved. To make this easier to see, because it is kind of tough to see, and I will grant you that, when you're trying to record. And remember, you don't have to do the A and B limits, but the best way to record, in my opinion, is, like I said, A and B is really just to set time frames, but you can manually do it by just looking at the screen. And right now I'm just looking for something. I'm just slowly moving my mouse to the right to see if I see anything going on. I don't. I imagine it's going very quickly, that there's a bunch of traffic, but regardless, you hold your right mouse button down, not left, right, and that will allow you to move in. You should see right above the cursor, you see where that blue is? That's the sections that's going to be recorded. It's probably easier to see it there. Now that's going to be a ton of footage, obviously, but that's the section that is being recorded for the clip. So that's a right click, and then you drag, and then when you're done, let go of right click, and there you go. You're right there. You can back up, deselect on your cameras, and select the camera that you were looking at. So you can see this is a way bigger file. This is 5 gigs, but you can see it also is going over 3 hours, just shy of 3 hours worth of footage. So that is how to scrub footage, record, and make sure where it's saved. And yeah, pretty much it for the camera system. If you guys have any questions or any concerns, feel free to reach out to us via email or phone, and we can go ahead and help you with whatever. If anything here didn't make any sense or you need further elaboration, feel free to reach out to us as well. That's what we're here for. So, all right. Thanks once again, and have a great day.